Cubic functions. We know that a quadratic function is a function of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not 0. A has to not be 0 so that we get an x squared term, otherwise it's not a quadratic. A cubic function is a function of the form y equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, where once again a can't be 0 because to be a cubic it needs to have the cubed term. Unlike quadratics, where all quadratic graphs are parabolas, remember the shape of a parabola, so it can be like that when the a is positive, and we call that a happy curve, or they can be like that when a is negative, and that's a sad curve. Cubic graphs can either have two turning points, one maximum and one minimum, or a horizontal point of inflection, which we often abbreviate to HPOI. I'm just going to go back and say happy and sad. The technical term for these are concave up. That's nice and easy to remember because up is U-shaped and this one is concave down. So let's have a look at the shape of those cubics. So this one here is a cubic which has a horizontal point of inflection. In fact, this is just the graph of y equals x cubed. The gradient of this curve is 0 at the origin. It just goes completely flat instantaneously and then goes up again. This is the cubic y is x plus 1, x minus 1, x minus 2. And you can see the roots here at negative 1, 1, and 2. And you can see that this one has a maximum point and then a minimum point. These are both graphs where the a is positive. So when we think about ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, we're saying for these ones the a is positive. Now this looks very technical, but it's not that complicated. As x tends to infinity, y tends to infinity. And all that is saying is as x goes this way, y goes that way. So it means that your graph is going to leave up here from the top right of the graph and come in at the bottom from the bottom left. As x tends to negative infinity, y tends to negative infinity. That's this bottom bit. So as x goes that way towards negative infinity, y goes that way. If a is less than 0, then the graphs just go the other way. So what we could say with these ones is as x tends to infinity, y tends to negative infinity. And that means going off the bottom of the graph. As x goes that way, y goes that way. And we can also say as x tends to negative infinity, y tends to infinity, which means as x goes that way, y goes that way, and it goes off the top left of the graph. Other than that, they're the same sort of shape. They can either have a horizontal point of inflection, and in this case, it would have a minimum followed by a maximum. So it's the other way around. When a is positive, you have the max first, followed by the min. But here you have the min followed by the max.